Hey everyone, it's Will, Gamerdad, with another video for you. So in tonight's episode of Should You Summon, we'll discuss the various banners that featured AS Garam, and I'll give you my thoughts and opinions of what I think about him. Now, if you haven't already, make sure you like and subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate it. I also do have a Patreon account for those who want to support me this way. So, of course, we have the two Fateful encounters, which were highlighted in yesterday's notice. And like most Fatefuls, they last about a month. Note that both versions of Garambarrel are featured here. 0.4 for the 4.5, 0.8 for the normal style, and 0.8 for the AS. And those are pulls 1 to 9. And a flat 10% chance of the AS on the 10th pull, and even the normal style is uprated to 1%. So between the two, your final chance is 11%, and of course, like I said, 2% on each of the other 9 pulls. Being that this is a paid banner, you still have access to Minolka, Efi, and so on and so forth, AS Flam, and so on and so forth. And unfortunately, all the bots and Rainbow Sisters and Knights that you would love to remove from this gacha. And for us who are free to play, we can summon on the free banner. And just like the Fateful, although it doesn't guarantee a 5-star, you do have a AS version at 0.8%. But note that unfortunately, this is a split banner such that Garam normal style is not featured even in his 4.5. You only have a 0.8% chance of getting the AS version, 0.03% and 0.01% respectively for the 4.5 and 5-star normal. However, in replacement of that, you do have a 0.4 and 0.8% chance of getting Yuan, being that this is his manifest upgrade to the true manifest. And so obviously if you have no form of Yuan and you want to add him to your team to kind of try out the power of the manifest or even his AS version, then this is the banner for you. Again, all free banners are 2 banners behind, so we do not have AS Flam or Minolka. I don't see Efi here either, so that's a little bit surprising because that's more than 2 banners ago, but I suspect that because Japan didn't get Efi yet, Efi is also not in this banner. So something to keep in mind. However, Moonlight Flower, his Mina is on this banner. And again, bots, Rainbow Sisters, and Knights, 3.5s and 4 stars galore. So, should you summon? Again, AS Garam is an upgraded version of normal style Garambarrel, where he still retains his barrier start in the front line. He gives 100% damage reduction for 1 hit to all main and reserve party members, which again is very, very useful depending on the type of fights you're looking at. He also does have the ability to kind of debuff the enemy, shield himself, inflict rage so that enemy attacks are redirected towards him. It's not like AS Radius where it can just absorb all AoEs kind of thing like that. And it's also not like AS Sora. So in that sense, he's unique in that he can't absorb just everything all at once. However, in exchange, you do have the potential of getting some pretty high DPS for Wind Pierce. In normal state, he can stack up to 3 guidance marks, and then he can convert almost like a trance version to divine revelation state, and that will stack his other orbs, which will allow him to do massive DPS. He also has a one-shot kill where it can essentially do 1 single target of a wind pierce attack that is almost a 10,000 mod, and so you can basically stack 3 stacks by also applying wind resist down, type resist up for all party members up to 50%. And so, in that sense, he still has the type shield and things like that. See, the problem I will say with AS Garambarrel is that, I don't know about you, but I prefer not using tanks on my fights. And the reason for that is, I prefer to just blast down the enemy. Now, that's not to say that AS Radius isn't great. I think she is. She's basically a no-brainer. You can stuff her in there and she can take 3 hits guaranteed. Even a unit like Pride that can guarantee 1 turn unlimited invulnerability is really, really useful. And I will say I've used them both in the past to kind of tank certain hits when I couldn't figure out different strategies. Now, that being said, if you have a pretty strong account where you have a lot of DPS already, or you're relatively new to the game where your units are just plowing through story content anyways, AS Garam is a unit that you can use for niche strats to help bolster your Wind Pierce DPS with some tanking and debuffing ability. I would say that although he's not a bad unit by any stretch of the imagination, there currently are other very powerful units in play, and unless you have all of them, aka Minolka, there's still just Minolka now? No. AS Flam, Efi, Eva, Ultra Sikia. Those are all in play, and especially for newer players, those might be a little bit more straightforward to use. And like I said, raw DPS is quite fun to play with instead of kind of stalling and waiting for tanking ability. Again, he is a husbando, and in this sense, with his outfit, pure 10 out of 10. Look at those blue flames. He's hot fire, okay? But in terms of playstyle, can't say I would recommend it, and most of you are probably pretty low in stones, and so if you are still looking for some of those other units that are featured in the banners that are still alive, I would recommend prioritizing those over Garam. If you have a Garam in any form, definitely side grade, whether or not you're a paid player or a free player. I can't see an immediate need to side grade AS Garam so that you have to beat certain content. I think most of the content can be beaten without Garam, and let's be honest, free units can beat everything in the game anyways. So in conclusion, my opinion is that you should pass on this unit unless you really like his look, or this is something you really wanted to add to your roster, and the fact that you have that 100% barrier for the first turn for the first hit. As for myself, of course, I do have Garam in 5-star already, so I'll be grinding out the treatises, backlogged with the other units I'm going for, and we'll see how that goes. But let me know in the comments if you're planning on something, and how did you do? I know this video is coming out a little bit late. Unfortunately, I had a family dinner, and so, things have been busy. So many of you mentioned yesterday already that you're going to be passing and prioritizing the other banners. I know that a lot of you are still chasing that global first unit Efi, and if you are, I wish you guys good luck. As a side note, my oldest son, aka Jeff Morrison, he used to have a YouTube channel, but he doesn't really do much anymore. He did actually single pull an Efi after beating the True Manifest of Yuan. You get 100 stones for that True Manifest fight, and so he's just single pulled and got him. So he's broke, but he got Efi to come home. And so I hope that kind of story does empower you guys to hit on Efi with the Church of Single Pulls. Good luck to everyone pulling, and there you go. Anyways, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.